Hi, today's deck is the Dark Fairy Tale Tarot by Raphael de Angelis. Dark Fairy Tale Tarot. So I'm just going to pull a few cards and treat it like a fairy tale. So it depends what that means to you, and I encourage you to get your own meaning, your own lean on the cards, your own lean on how how the reading is, whether it's a predictive reading or a for you, or it could be a what do they call them? Shadow reading. It could be something that you fantasize about. But what I'm sort of thinking for me, it would be this reading will be something that perhaps isn't real. Okay. Or that would like to be real and isn't real. And so what are the cards for today? So the first one is the Eight of Cups. I can bring that down a bit, can't I? It's going to be better. It's the Eight of Cups. Interesting little creature there. Okay, so second card. Kind of knew this was going to be this way. This is the Knight of Cups. I'm not sure if I already said, but this deck I've found lends itself well to romance, love readings. And what's the next card? What's the next card? What's the next card? What's the next card? Nearly there, I think. The final card in this trilogy, please. Yep. It's the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups. So the idea was to have a fantasy reading or a what's not true reading, but sometimes it just comes up as being very true. Okay. All these cards are important, but this could be where you're at. You've got this funny little man here. I'm not quite sure what that's. Anyway, but what I'm drawn to here is it the moon or is it the sun? It looks like it could be the sun because it's so bright and it's like an eclipse. I know the Eight of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck has a moon, on it. Eight of Cups is Saturn in Pisces. So it's to me, it's kind of like where reality meets dreams and fantasies. And, the realization of, is this real? Can it be real? Is it ever going to be real? Kind of energy. And often the Eight of Cups is about supposedly walking away. I don't think it's about necessarily walking away, because you can get fixated on that. I feel that it is about facing your emotional, your level of emotional storage, your level of emotional energy that you have in something, that you've put in something, that you is expended, if that's the right word, into something. In the middle, you've got the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups, this lady here, is she looking for that ninth cup? Is she looking to reach a certain level of completion for emotions? Oh yeah, I've got everything I want, almost, but I want more. Is it that? And this Knight is, she might be looking in the distance and see this Knight is coming along, and this Knight is going to bring me what I need, finally. So there could be a bit of that. There could be, looking into the distance and thinking, well, when am I going to meet my knight in shining armor? Whether that knight is actually a person to do with romance, or whether it's a thing, something, a job or whatever, a creative endeavor that's just going to put you in that state of, feeling great. It's like a dopamine hit. Everybody wants a dopamine hit now. This Eight of Cups is not about that. This Eight of Cups is not about, it doesn't, in my mind anyway, it isn't about, I need to feel a certain way before I can be happy, or I need to feel a certain way before I can continue on with this relationship. They're just not quite giving it to me. It's that kind of energy. These cards, that's what it's giving me. So yeah, the Knight of Cups, there could be a Knight of Cups around in some form. But there might not be. It's relying on something or someone else to give you that high that you think that you need to perhaps either be happy or, be like everybody else, or whatever it is. I mean, the eight is a power number. It's a number that says, I can really use this energy for the greater good of myself and others. And sometimes the eight, even you look at the Strength card, it really is about an understatedness, really, that energy within that that usually a female figure is able to contain. Okay. So I'm not saying that you need to put up with a shitty situation or being miserable or anything like that, but that is what I often see with the Eight of Cups. Or I don't actually that often see it, but I'm definitely seeing it with this. So with the Five of Cups, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where that fifth cup is. I can't actually see it. So that's interesting, isn't it? Is that cup there? Somebody's taken your cup. And, that it's almost like, oh shit, I haven't even got 5 cups. 3 down and 2 up. I've only got 1. Oh, this is just terrible, sort of thing. They took something from me, or something was taken from you. And this can be a lot of things. This could be time, it can be energy, it can be a chance, it can be an opportunity. I think the Five of Cups is Venus in Scorpio, and apparently doesn't do well. It doesn't do well in Scorpio. Scorpio is kind of, the way I see it, a very intense energy. It can sort of be a one-to-one energy, whereas Venus is kind of, it's kind of the all-encompassing beauty and love, etc. And there's definitely a sense of being let down in the Five of Cups. So what I'm seeing with this is, there definitely is, was, or could be a fantasy here. And the fantasy is something that is been of disappointment, that I'm not saying is your own doing, but it's emotionally based. You've got 3 cups cards here. So there's strong emotion about it. But these cards are challenging cards. And this card is like a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not saying that there isn't a light at the end of the tunnel, but really it depends on you, and you've got to find that light. It's not necessarily going to be brought to you. It's not necessarily going to be the way you thought it was. And I think that's, I don't know, I just, I thought that I might be able to get some sort of fantasy story out of this dark fairy tale tarot. Maybe it's me as a reader. I just can't do that. But what it is showing up is, the things that the fairy tales that are perhaps have not served you, or are not serving you at the moment. And really, with every reading, it's up to the individual to work that out. And hopefully these cards have been helpful in bringing forward something useful for you. Cheers.